Okay, class. So today we're going to go to page 42, and we are going to start with problem number 1. We're going to use our base 10 blocks and our mat, and we're going to be solving for our whole numbers, addition and subtraction. Okay. So number 1 says 58 plus 43. So on your paper, you'll see a spot right here. So we've got to make 58. Well, we know one mat is 100. So we're not going to be already using these for 58 or to show what 43 is, but maybe at the end what they equal to. What the sum is of both of them, they may be equal to this. So we'll touch those later. So our first thing, we're going to have to illustrate our problem in our first block. And then we're going to have to put what it equals in the second block. So for number 1, we have 58 plus 43. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to try to do 58. Well, we know that 1 long equals 10. 1 unit equals 1. And like I said earlier, 1 flat equals 100. Okay, so for 58 plus 43, for 58, we're going to have to get, so we can't do 58 with just longs. So what we have to do is we have to break it up. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get 50. Because to break up 58, to make it a 10, so 50 is what we can do to make 10 out of that. So we're going to do, it's going to take 5 longs. So we're going to draw out 5 longs. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're also going to have to do, so this is our 5 longs. And you can see that they don't make a mat. They don't make a flat. It's just half of a flat. We have our 5 longs. So that's 50. We have to get to 58. So we have to get our units. So we have 1 unit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we're going to draw them on our little piece of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So then we have our 58. So then we're going to be adding 43 to it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get our 58, our 5 longs, and our 8 units. And we're going to have to add 43. Well, to add 43, we have to start with 40. So to make 40, that's going to take 4 longs, because each long represents 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So all of these equals 40. So we're going to write them in our long spot with the 50. 2, 3, 4. Okay? So then we're going to put those together. Put them in the same group. So we wrote it on our paper, so we have 9 longs together. So then we have 43. So then we got to add 3 units also into our unit mix. So after we do that, then we have to condense it. So we can't make a flat because we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only have 9 longs. So we're going to leave the longs alone. So, but for the units, we can make another long with the units. So let's try to look and see how many units we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's from the 58. Then we have 3 added to it. So we have 8, 9, 10, 11. So what we can do is we can take 10 of these units and turn it into one long. So then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and add another long. So that will end up being 1. So we took, let me show you what we did. So we took 10 units and we turned these 2 units, put them away, and we turned them into a long. So then that turned it into this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we know that 10 units, 10 longs equal a flat. So we're going to draw one flat in there. And when we did all that, we ended up having 1 unit left over. So our answer would be 58 plus 43 is 101. Okay? So how we explained that we did that is we took 58 and broke it down to 5 longs and 8 units. Then we took our 43 and broke it down to 4 longs and 3 units. So then we condensed our units into 1 long and 1 unit. Then we condensed our longs to 1 flat. And that gave us 101. Okay, and as you look at our next problem, we have some bigger numbers. We have 187 plus 343. So what we're going to have to do for this one is we're going to have to break the 187 up and 343. We're going to do the same thing. So to make 187, you take, for 100 equals 1 flat. So we're going to go ahead and write 1 flat because we have 187. So we got to draw 1 flat. Then you have 187. So we have to take that 80 from 87 and make that into 10 longs. Into our longs that equal 10. So we're going to have to draw 8 of those for those to equal 80. So let's draw them in there. Then, to make our 787, you're going to have to do 7 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 187, which is 1 flat, 8 longs, and 7 units. Then we're adding 343. So 300 is going to equal 3, 1, 2, and then 3. That's going to equal 300. This equals 300. So then we're going to take our 300 and we're going to draw it beside the 187. So we have 1, 2, 3. Then for the 43, the 40 with the 43 is 4 longs. So then we're going to have to draw them in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the 3, that's just 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, so we have we have 4 flats, we have 12 longs, and we have 10 units all together. So we've got to try to condense that. Well, we'll condense that after. No, we need to condense it now. So to condense that, we would have to do, let's start with our units, because we want to start with the lowest one first. Because if you don't, that would be like subtracting. And we're not subtracting, we're adding. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get our units and count them to see if we can turn our units blocks into a long block. And how we do that is see how many of these we have. And if we have 10 or more, we can turn the 10 into one of these. So instead of having 10 of these, we can make one of these. And it's just way easier to count than counting out 10 of these little blocks. This is way easier just to say this is 10. So we're going to count our units again. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have exactly 10 units. So what we can do is we can cancel all those out. I like to cancel them so I don't get confused. Cancel those out and draw one long, because we're taking those units and turning it into a long. So we're going to draw it in our long spot. Then what we have to do, now we have to count our longs. So we're going to see if we have 10 longs, 10 of these to make up one of these. Instead of counting out 10 of these, it's so much easier to just count out one of these. So this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to count them out and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we actually have 13 longs. So what we can do is we can take 10 of those and turn them into a flat. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to cancel those out. And we're going to draw that in the space. So then we're left with 3 longs. So now we're going to count our flats. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only have 5 flats, so we don't go up from there. So the answer to the problem, we're going to write on the right side of the paper, right in this spot. Right here is the solution. Right here we're going to take and write our answer. So in the answer spot, we're going to write all this without the scratches, all the stuff. We're going to write it neat so that's like what you see is what it is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flats that we need to keep in there. So we're just going to write them over. 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to take our longs, which we only have 3 longs that were left. So we're just going to draw them in there. Then we're going to draw our units. Well, we have no units, so there's 0 units. So that would just be a 0. So now our answer to the problem is 530. Because we have 5 flats, 3 longs, and 0 units. So 530 is the answer. So to break that down, what we just done, we took our 187 and we broke it down to 1 flat, 8 longs, and 7 units. Then we added to that 343. So we had to add 3 flats, 40 longs, and 3 units to that. And so then we ended up with 530 as our answer. Okay, now we're going to go to page 44. And now we're going to be starting to subtract. So we're going to do two subtraction problems. So So how we're going to do this is we're going to still break it down just like we did the addition, but it's going to be a little bit different. So for the 325, we're going to take, so 325, we still have to break it down just like addition. We're going to break it down. The only thing that's going to be different is instead of adding the second number, we're going to be subtracting it, which I kind of like the subtraction one better because it's kind of easier to do than the adding one to me. So for the 325, you have 300, and that equals 3 flats, and that is 300. Then you have 25, which the 25 will equal 2 longs for the 20, and then you're going to take 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we have for 325 is 3 flats, 1, 2, 3, 2 longs, so this and that. We're just going to stack up. 2 longs. And then we have 5 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 2, 5. Ooh, one envelope. So then we're subtracting 197. So how we're going to subtract is, you have to look at it, and this one's kind of harder to show y'all with it facing me. But, so you have 300 right here. You can take one of these out because we're taking 197. So instead of adding by like separating out 197, 197, we're going to be taking it away. So we'll start with, on this, when we do this, it's way easier to start with the subtracting the flats. You know how when we added the units up, and then it turned into the longs, and then it went to the flats. When we subtract, it is way easier to start subtracting the bigger things than the littler things, to me. So this is how I do it. So we have 325, and then we're subtracting 197. So I am going to go ahead, and I'm going to mark out one of these off my paper, because we know we're subtracting 100. So now we just have to deal with the 97. Well, the thing about the 97 is, if you remember, our 325 only had 20 longs. We can't take 90 longs from this 20. That doesn't work. We only have 20. There's no way. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take one of these and break it down into 10 of these to add to our other 20 longs. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm canceling out another one of my flats. So I had 3 flats, and one's gone from the 100, and another one's gone because I'm breaking it into these. So it's not really gone, but it's getting broken into this. So now I have to cancel it out with flat. Now I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 longs now. So now we actually can take 90 longs out of the equation now, because we wrote so now we have 12. So 12 actually is 120. So we can take that 90 out of 120. We had 20. Then we broke on down a flat, and we turned it to 10 longs. So that gave us 10 times 10, which equals 100. So now we have 120 in longs in these. So we can take 90 from that. So what we're going to have to do is take 9 of the longs, which that equals 90. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we took 9 of those, and we're left with 3 longs. Now, we have 5 units, 5 unit blocks. Well, this says 197. We cannot subtract 7 from 5 unit blocks. It doesn't work. So, like we did the flats, we're going to have to take one of our longs. So we had 3 longs left. We're taking one of them also. And I'm going to turn this into 10 of these. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 units altogether. So I can take 7 of them away. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now when we rewrite it for the solution, we look at all what we have in each section. And I have 1 flat left, 2 units left, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 units left. So the answer to our problem is 128. So, just a run through of what we just did. We took 325 minus 197. We broke our 300 down, so we had 3 flats. Then we had 20 longs. Then we had 5 units. We took 100 flats away. Then we took 90 longs away after we turned one of the flats into 10 longs. Then we took 1 long away out of the group and turned it into 10 units, and that left us with 15. And then we had to subtract 7, so that left us with 8. So the ending result equaled 128. So our next problem, number 4, is 214 minus 187. So for the 214, we're just going to be doing the same thing we've been doing. We're going to get 214 to break down. 200 equals 1 flat and 1 flat. This equals 200 blocks. See, they're little bitty squares, but this equals 200 of these. So we're going to put 200, we're going to put 1, 2 under the flats. That equals 200. Then we have to take 14, 214. So the 14 can break down to 1 long. So we're going to take that and do 1 long. And then we have 4 units. So we're going to put 4 units. So what we have right now, I'm just going to show you. We have 2 flats, 1 long, and 1. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. And we have 4 of our units. 4, 210, 4. 214. So then we're going to subtract 187. Well, we got to break down the 187. So to subtract it, we know we're going to have to first go ahead and take off 100 because we have 187. So we can go ahead and cancel out one of those flats. So now we're left with 1 flat, 1 long, and 4 units. Well, we have to take 87, which was 80 longs, from this 1 long. We cannot do that. It doesn't work. So we're going to have to break down our flat like we did last time. So we're breaking this down again. And we're turning it into 10 of these. So we're going to go ahead and write that in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 10. We have 11 longs now. So we have 110 right there. So we can take 80 from 110. That is more reasonable than 80 from just 10. So 110 minus 80, easy. So we're going to go ahead and scratch off our 8 longs for 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that left us with 3 longs. Then we have 87. So we have to take 7 from 4, which again, cannot do that. So we're going to take one of our longs, like we did the flat, and cancel it out and turn one of these into multiple of these. So we're going to take one away and add 10 to the bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 units, which is way easier, which we can take 7 from 14, obviously. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that leaves us with 7 units. So now what we have left is 2 longs, which equals 20. So we're going to go ahead and write that in there, 2 longs. And we're left with 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now our answer is 214 minus 187 is 27. So what we did here is we took our 2 flats from 214, and we had to break both of them down. We subtracted 1 because we minus 187, so we subtracted the 1. Then we took the other unit and we took it off and added 10 longs in its place. So then that left us with 0 flats. So then we had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We had 11 longs, and so we had to cancel out another one of them and change that into the units. So then that left us with 20 longs, 20 worth of longs, and then we had 7 units. So that equaled 27 as the answer. Alright, that's everything for today that we're going to go over. Thank you guys for tuning in.